Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today to hear what may be the world's worst kept secret. I am very pleased to bring us all together to announce the appointment of the new Director of Athletics at the University of South Carolina. This is a very happy occasion, but I did not take this decision lightly. The athletics enterprise at USC affects 550 student athletes, commands an annual budget of $81 million, and is a division that employs about 200 individuals. What happens on the fields and in the courts of play impacts the reputation of our university on a daily basis. In making the decision, I relied on the help of an advisory group that helped me to determine the professional qualifications and the personal characteristics that I should look for in a candidate, and some of those people are here with us today. The group consisted of William C. Hubbard, class of '74, law, class of '77, chair of the USC Board of Trustees Intercollegiate Athletics Committee. Dawn Staley, head coach, women's basketball. She is out recruiting today. Tommy Suggs, class of '71, president, CEO of Keenan Suggs Insurance, Carolina broadcaster, and former Carolina football great. I.S. Levy Johnson, U.S. Law School, class of '68, Columbia attorney, member of my athletics, community advisory committee, and chair of my community advisory committee, and USC professor Charles F. Adams. First and foremost, I sought an individual of the highest integrity, one whose character is widely respected, who knows the rules, respects the rules, and plays by the rules. The world of athletic compliance is complex, and the individual I will be announcing today indeed knows and respects the rules and has always played by them. Second, I wanted someone who plays to win and who understands that competition on and off the field is important in sports, but also in life. This individual is a proven winner and has demonstrated that at Carolina, winning is contagious and winning is expected. Thirdly, I wanted someone who had management experience and who knows the business of athletics. This individual does have this background, as he has served as assistant athletics director at North Carolina State for about 6 years and has overseen a growing, complex sports program at our university. This person has management skills that are transferable, in my opinion, to the larger organization. I wanted someone who could take the management system put in place by Eric Hyman and continue to improve and perfect it. I also wanted someone who knows that student athletes are students first and who has a strong record of advancing students academically and with respect to character development. Finally, I sought someone with vision and with leadership skills, someone people would follow, would want to follow, someone who commands respect, and someone who would be successful in raising funds and raising friends for this university's diverse athletic programs. Sometimes you can search the world over for the perfect candidate, and sometimes you know you have the right leader within your own bullpen. This time around, I knew we had the right person on our team already. 2 years ago, he came to me and said he was ready for a change. He said that he had a great career already. I called it a stellar career. He started coaching young at the age of 28, and at that time was one of the youngest Division I head baseball coaches in the nation. So with 25 years of coaching and management experience behind him, he felt he would soon coach his last game, but he was too young to retire. He was looking for a new challenge, but he wanted to stay with his beloved Gamecocks. So when this opportunity arose, he came to see me and said that he was ready. I asked him if he was sure, and he said yes. I said our fans might be mad about my taking him away from baseball, and he said, I'm sure and I'm ready for it if you'll have me. I told him that his new salary would be lower than his coach's pay, and he again said, I'm sure and I'm ready and I want it if you'll have me. So after a great career as a coach and an assistant athletics director at NC State, possessing an outstanding record of community engagement and of philanthropy through his family foundation that has brought relief and happiness to South Carolina organizations and families in need, and with huge amounts of national media exposure, speaking engagements, and with the personality to inspire and to lead, I am pleased to share with you that effective August 2nd, the University of South Carolina's athletics director will be Ray Tanner. Very proud of you. I think that'd be great.
Wow, it's kind of funny how you change one uniform for another one, and this makes you a lot more nervous. I want to thank Dr. Pastides very, very much. Special thanks to the advisory board and our USC Board of Trustees. I want to thank our coaches and our current administration in the athletics department who've already shown great support as we enter into a new era together. I want to thank my wife, Karen, and our children who have unwavering love and support. As is often the case in our business, our jobs impact our families. And my family, just like yours, handles it with a wonderful spirit, which I truly appreciate. Today is a little bittersweet for my children, but not because of me leaving baseball. This morning, the state newspaper notified them that Reptar had gone to the big fishbowl in the sky. So that was the tone of conversation in our house this morning. But Gracie, Maggie, and Luke, if I had to guess, in 2013, Reptar 2 will probably be on the scene. Today, I'm honored and humbled to become the athletics director at this great university. As Dr. Pastides had alluded to, I've had an interest in returning to athletic administration once my coaching days were over. And a couple of years ago, I had a number of opportunities to speak with Dr. Pastides and Eric Hyman about my future outside of baseball. 2 weeks ago, when Eric made the decision to go to A&M, I immediately approached Dr. Pastides to inform him of my sincere interest and desire to serve our student athletes, our coaches, our alumni, and Gamecock Nation. Sometimes coaches, we move fast. Although he was only minutes into the search process, we had a great meeting, and I told him that I would be in the bullpen waiting for a call. He looked at me, and I'm sure he was probably thinking more along the lines of Matt Price than me. But I'm very grateful that eventually I got the signal, so I'm in the game. We currently have tremendous momentum in our department. Mr. Hyman has been a great leader and positively impacted our student athletes and coaches. I want to thank Eric and Pauline for their dedicated service to the Carolina family for the last 7 years. Also, I want to thank Marcy Girton for her contributions as a COO. She will be joining Eric and Pauline in College Station. and I'll wish them the best, except when the Aggies and our Gamecocks lock up. And on those days, I just hope I get a chance to console them a little bit. I'm very excited to begin my new role as we continue on our current path here at Carolina with forward momentum. It is imperative that we stay on track as we compete in the SEC and nationally. As you all know, we have tremendous coaches across all sports, and we have a great administrative staff here in place. For my first official act as AD, I'd like to announce two new assignments that have been accepted. First, Charles Waddell will move into the role as Athletics Deputy Director. Charles Waddell. And Kevin O'Connell will move into the position of Chief Operating Officer. Kevin O'Connell. Thanks to both of you for stepping up to help me lead our department. Also, I'd like to mention a couple other members of our senior staff. If they're available or here, please stand up. Judy Van Horn, our Senior Associate AD and Senior Women's Administrator. Judy here. Raymond Harrison, our Associate AD of Academics and Life Skills. Jeff Talent, our Chief Financial Officer. We'll get to know each other very well. And Chris Rogers, the Associate AD of Compliance Services. My move into this chair comes as a surprise maybe to some people, but not those who knew me or know me very well. I think we all knew that I would end up in an administrative capacity at some point. Many years ago, when I was a young buck trying to make it in the world of coaching, I was an assistant coach right out of college at North Carolina State. And God forbid that any athletics director around the country would allow assistant baseball coach to be full-time. You had to have a lot of other duties to merit a salary. I gained a tremendous amount of experience administratively across a lot of different areas, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very, very much. And at the tender age of 27 in the summer of 1987, our then athletics director, the late Jimmy Valvano, came to me, and he said, "You know, our baseball coach is retiring." And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I would like for you to also retire." And I said, "Coach V, what do you have in mind?" He said, "I'd like for you to enter administration on a full-time basis. I'll put you at a high level working with our basketball program." I said, "Coach V, I'm a young guy. I cannot leave the field right now." And he said, "Okay, but you have a great opportunity in administration to be an athletics director at a young age. And as a coach, you might not make it." So, Jimmy V, it's not too late. And now, I'm not just at the collegiate level. I'm at the University of South Carolina. I'm a Gamecock, and I bleed garnet and black. One of the greatest assets we have here is our wonderful boosters and our fan base. Very much appreciate the enthusiasm and support. We have great coaches and great teams, but with your continued support, we'll continue to strive and reach even greater heights. If you will allow me rather quickly, I do want to give you a quick review of what happened this past year. Our football team, Coach Spurrier, record 11 wins. And apparently they're not very happy. They're moving forward, so great news for our football team. Coach Staley and our women's basketball team in the Sweet 16. Coach Burson and Coach Smith, both of our soccer teams were conference champions. Coach Anderson and our women's golf team captured the East Regional title and finished 5th at the NCAAs. And our baseball team snuck back into the College World Series in the finals once again. In addition, both men and women's tennis, track, and field teams advanced to the postseason. Our men's golf team and the equestrian team advanced to the postseason as well. And all of these things happened while our student athletes were achieving the highest GPA in the history of the school. Coach Harrison, tremendous job. Our student athletes are going to be a priority for us, and our major emphasis will be on graduating them while providing opportunities to compete at the highest level and win. There will be an unwavering emphasis on integrity and compliance while remaining fiscally sound. In closing, I want to thank all of my current players, former players, my coaches and support staff that I've had in baseball for their dedication to me and this great university. I will miss putting the uniform on, but you can rest assured I will be coaching where I'll be sitting, maybe a little bit armchair style. Lastly, I would like to thank Dr. Mike McGee. In the summer of 1996, he took a chance in bringing me here to Carolina. "16 wonderful years ago, and he tells people to this day that he was so impressed with Karen that he allowed me to come along. But you know what? That's okay with me. I still got the job. We have had 16 wonderful years here in Columbia, and we look forward to many, many more at the University of South Carolina. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will take some questions from the media. If you please raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Pete, I see you over here. Bernice has a microphone there.
Ray.
Pete.
Ray, as your next act, do you plan to conduct a national search for a baseball coach?
I guess nothing's off the record, right? I think that if you have an opportunity to make plans for a press conference on Monday morning, that would be appropriate at 11 a.m. So it will be a short search.
11 o'clock right here, same place. David?
Ray, was there any hesitation on your part to leave the dugout to take this role? Did you have any kind of, I guess, waffling once the decision was made?
None whatsoever. I was at a point, I think, in my coaching career that I loved it. I was having fun, probably more so in the last 10 years than the previous 15. But I've never been a coach that wanted to stay until it was too late. I wanted to get out while it was great. So many times I've seen coaches stay and it doesn't work out great at the end. And the ones that are great at the end, it's a small percentage. And I knew that I wanted an opportunity outside of baseball. And in conversations with Dr. Pastides and Eric Hyman, that was going to be possible, even if I wasn't the athletics director. And as I said, I'm not burned out. I wasn't tired of baseball. I'm excited about it. And quite honestly, I'm not going anywhere. So maybe compliance-wise, I can't do much coaching, but I can second guess a little bit, and that'll make me feel good.
Neil?
Ray, at what point was the job officially offered, and how long did it take you to accept once the offer came?
I think it was about 4 seconds when I said yes before he changed his mind again. I think officially, Dr. Pastides, yesterday, a couple of nights ago, I called him, like every 30 minutes and to see what was going on. So he knew right away, and as I said, I approached him immediately. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time on that Friday a couple of weeks ago, and I took it as an opportunity to visit As I said, we had a great visit, and I let my interest be known as strong as I could, with tremendous respect that if we went in another direction, that would be quite all right. But I didn't want to have any questions in his mind. And he asked me 2 or 3 times, "Are you sure?" And I was absolutely, positively sure.
Coach, what might be your biggest adjustment as you move from the dugout to the front office?
Where are you?
Right here.
Okay.
What might be your biggest adjustment as you move from one position to the other?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I know this. I know there's a great staff here administratively. Eric Hyman has left tremendous people in place. There's a great deal of comfort in that. And, maybe they're just getting used to a different schedule. And I've said a couple of times already today, this might be the biggest challenge for me, to put that necktie on a regular basis. But I'm excited about it. I've enjoyed college athletics for a long, long time. And it wasn't just baseball. I was interested in what was going on in other sports, administratively, financially. Eric Hyman did a great job in his staff meetings of sharing with our coaches and our staff members how our department worked. And I was always interested in that and intrigued by how it all came together. So although I haven't been in this arena, I feel like I know a lot about what's going on. And the things that I don't know, there's a staff right here that will make sure that I do.
There in the middle, go ahead.
Coach Tanner, does leaving the baseball program in the shape that it's in right now, does that make it easier to make this transition because you know that the program is in such good shape right now?
I think it probably does. I feel like that we have a program in baseball that a lot of other schools around the country are trying to emulate. We get a lot of calls, a lot of questions. It appears I do a lot of consultations, which is somewhat awkward for me. But you go from our performance on the field to our venue to what happens inside and outside of the lines. It's been really, really special. And we have a great staff in place. And quite honestly, we're not going to miss a beat. The continuity is very special. I was able to speak with our players on a conference call, and there wasn't any anxiety or tension. Might have been a little celebration in there, who knows? But they know our staff, and they know that we'll be moving forward, and there'll be a new coach maybe wearing number 1, but our expectations are not going to change.
Neil?
Ray, what do you believe are your biggest strengths that you bring to this job, and how did you sell those strengths to the president?
Neil, you want me to pat myself on the back up here? Is that what you're trying to get me to do? No, I just feel like I had a great rapport with our administration, our coaches. They, I believe in me. I've sensed that support for a long, long time. Crossed different paths with them and had a lot of discussions, and we've talked about going forward in past years. I feel a tremendous passion for this business. We have a corporation here. Our budget is more than $80 million. There's a lot of things going on, and I'm excited about that. And I feel like the ability to communicate and listen is a tremendous strength. I've never been an I guy. I learned that at an early age, that you're only as good as the people around you. And I know we have a great team here. Whether you're wearing a uniform or you're on the management team, we got a chance to do great things if everybody's together, and I believe strongly in that.
Other questions? If not, we want to bring Kevin and Charles up for a photo opportunity with Ray. Wood?
I need a footstool.
All right, we thank you all for coming out today. And again, congratulations, Ray Tanner.